Hi, my name is John Alexandrov, and I'm the author and developer of The Secret Seduction and the Jesus Syndrome. I want to introduce myself to you to explain why I created the Secret Seduction book, CD, and DVD. This will be helpful to you in analyzing my work and whether or not you will accept it as credible and authentic. I'm a best-selling author of 3 books, Affirmations of Wealth, Your Spiritual Goldmine, and The Money Chi. I have authored over 200 published articles on the topics of inspiration, motivation, and success principles, and I've been until recently a radio and television talk show host for over 15 years. I was awarded a Bachelor's of Arts degree in economics from Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut, and a Juris Doctor degree from the New England School of Law in Boston, Massachusetts. I've been a practicing attorney in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for over 20 years, and I've been an entrepreneur my entire adult life. It's important for you to know this information about me because you should be aware I have counseled and worked with some of the most successful people in the world, and that my predisposition is to make decisions based on facts and evidence, not on emotion. In other words, I may become very passionate about certain subjects, but eventually my final conclusions and decisions are based on facts and evidence. What you're about to see or hear is my opinion and conclusions of the DVD and related materials titled The Secret, created by Rhonda Byrne. Once in a lifetime, discoveries are made that change everything. The creators of The Secret, notably Rhonda Byrne, have claimed that the secret law of attraction is such a discovery. Well, actually, they claim The Secret is a universal law that has been around forever. No, wait. According to Lisa Nichols, one of the guests on the DVD, the law of attraction has been around for 2,000 years. And so begins the unraveling of one of the greatest deceptions in the history of the personal growth industry, a sleight of hand that even Oprah and Larry King have bought into. If they were alive, Napoleon Hill, W. Clement Stone, and Earl Nightingale would be outraged by this nonsense. It sounds so appealing. Just set your attention on something, on anything. Sprinkle a little fairy dust on it, and magically you will receive it. That's the promise of the creators of The Secret. They say it's a simple 3-step process. Ask, believe, receive. Rhonda Byrne's guest appearance on Oprah is a compelling reason to believe there really is a law of attraction. After all, Oprah is one of the most compassionate people on the face of the earth. Her mission to elevate the human experience is beyond question. I just wish she wouldn't have helped perpetuate this mythology. So Oprah asked Rhonda, let's go through the 3 steps. Rhonda responds, ask, believe, and receive. Rhonda goes on to say, and believe is kind of getting out of the way, because a lot of people try to make things happen, and your job is not that. Your job is to ask once, only once, because if you're asking twice, then you don't have faith. Rhonda continues, yes, and then just believe and feel good. What a magical formula. Just ask, believe, and feel good. Then get out of the way and let the money pour in. Just get out of the way and let the universe cure you of cancer or eradicate AIDS. Just get out of the way and a new Mercedes will be parked in your driveway in a few weeks, as long as you have faith. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big believer in faith, in universal laws, and religious devotion, if that's your path, and in the dignity of the human spirit. I don't believe the universe says, your wish is my command, or that all you have to do is create a vision board and magically you'll be living in a $5 million mansion. I have to admit, the first time I watched The Secret, I bought it hook, line, and sinker. Why? Because I, like most of society, wanted to believe it. But the more I watched, the more the secret illusion became apparent. And let's be honest, The Secret has mass appeal. The production is phenomenal. The music, the visuals, the experts are so passionate, so believable. So is David Copperfield when he makes mountains disappear or tigers appear out of thin air. As I was sitting in the audience on March 30th, 2001, at the inauguration of John E. Bassett as the president of Clark University in Worcester, Massachusetts, I certainly couldn't have foretold the reason why I was there. It was on that day I was introduced to the internationally known theoretical physicist Lawrence M. Krauss. Truth be told, at the time I had no idea who Dr. Krauss was or even why he was chosen to give the inaugural address. But I do recall looking at the written program of the installation ceremonies and thinking to myself, why would an internationally recognized physicist be giving an inaugural address titled In Praise of Nonsense on such an important occasion? I found Dr. Krauss's address that day to be interesting, yet it certainly didn't inspire me to change my view of the world or my role in it at that time. But almost 6 years later, I awoke in the middle of the night with an absolute compulsion to find a copy of Dr. Krauss's speech and read it again. 6 years later. I thought to myself, how will I find a copy of Dr. Krause's speech, and what relevance could it possibly have in my life now? Thanks to Google, I simply typed in inauguration Dr. John Bassett, Clark University, and in lightning speed, up popped Dr. Krause's speech. As I read his speech, it became immediately apparent why I was in the audience on March 30th, 2001, and why it was necessary for me to recall his words of that day. In his speech, Dr. Krause revealed some interesting statistics. Remember, these statistics were accurate as of 2001, but they most likely are similar today. He stated this might sound trivial, but we live in times when 60% of Americans polled on the question stated they believed that instantaneous travel anywhere would be possible in this century. Dr. Krause was puzzled as to why fallacies that seemed so self-evident were simply accepted as truth by so many people. He asked himself, what is the root of this appalling scientific illiteracy? The answer was simple, yet discouraging to a scientist. Society doesn't think of science as culture. Our cultural icons and role models often proudly proclaim their scientific illiteracy, almost as a badge of membership. And so it seems with at least 90% of the world population, in a world and culture full of psychic mediums, disembodied vibrational forces that are channeled by spiritual beings, alien visitors, and unexplained phenomenon, the world is ripe for the picking by pseudoscientists and self-help gurus. It's as easy today to create a flock of followers as it is for the diet pill industry to sell sugar pills laced with caffeine. As Dr. Krause explains, authority in science does not lie in some fraternity of scientists, nor in some sort of divine inspiration. The only authority in science that determines which ideas continue to remain open to debate is experiment. Ideas, no matter how beautiful they may first appear, which fail the test of experiment, are simply wrong. End of story. Now you may ask, is it really necessary to brand nonsense as such at the risk of offending sensibilities, religious or otherwise? Yes. If empirical falsehoods become accepted instead of subject of debate, this paves the way for demagogues to deny the existence of the Holocaust or for presidents to rely on astrologers for guidance. The increasingly blatant nature of nonsense issued with impunity in public discourse is chilling, and I believe this imperils our democracy as much as any other single threat. I must agree with Dr. Krause when he states, I believe that it is our duty in a democratic society to be prepared to openly expose nonsense, whether or not it is politically correct, or no matter whose sensibilities it offends.